Hello everyone, welcome to Augment Tech. In this session, we will be learning about Python NumPy filtering arrays. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand filtering arrays, creating the filter array, creating filter directly from array. I'm excited to get started and I hope you follow along. Let's get started with filtering arrays. So getting some elements out of an existing array and creating a new array out of them is known as filtering. So from the bunch of array elements, we can filter out the required elements. That is known as a filtering. And in NumPy, you can filter an array using Boolean index list. A Boolean index list is a list of Booleans corresponding to indexes in the array. And if the value at the index is true, as we are talking about the Boolean index list here, that element is contained in the filtered array. If the value at that index is false, that means the element is excluded from the filtered array. So here we first need to import the NumPy, then create an array, and then we can pass a Boolean index list having elements true and false. At whichever element's position we say true, that element will be included in our filtered array, and wherever we specify false, that element would get excluded. Now let's see how to create the filter array. So the common use is to create a filter array based on conditions, and there we go. So here we can create an array and an empty filter array. Then we can iterate over the elements inside the array, and then we can check for the conditions. And if that condition is satisfied, it has to append to the array. If not, the elements would get filtered. So we can either append true or false to the list Boolean index list. And then we can print our filtered array. Now let's see creating filter directly from an array. So we can directly substitute the array instead of the iterable variable in our condition, and it will work just as we expected to. There we go. You see here we are directly passing an array with some condition, and then we are printing out the array without using the for loop in order to iterate over the elements of our array. Now let's hop to PyCharm and check out the example of array filter. I'll see you there. Now here I'm on my PyCharm, so I'm going to right click on my NumPy folder, go and create a new Python file, and let's name this as array filter. Hit enter, and here I say getting some elements out of an existing array and creating a new array out of them is known as filtering. So here we'll be making use of Boolean index list to filter out the elements. So here I say Boolean index list can be used to filter array elements. Now let's quickly see an example of this. So first I'll be importing numpy as np, import numpy as np, and then let's create an array equals np dot array. To this I'll be passing some array like 21, 22, 23, and 24. Here I say something like x equals my boolean list is, let's say this is true, true, and false, true. Now here I create a new array equals array of x, and then I'm going to print my new array. So here wherever I have specified true, that element should be inside my new array, and at whichever place I've specified false, that element should be excluded. Let's go and check the example of this, output of this. So I'm gonna run, and there we go. You see, it says 21, 22, 24. It's excluding 23 because at place of 23, I've actually specified the boolean false. It means it would be excluded from my new filtered array. Now let's go and see how to create the filter array. Let's see an example of create filter arrays. So I'm going to use the same array equals np dot array, to which I'll be passing 21, 22, 23, and 24. And again, I'm going to create an empty array here. Let's say the name of that array is filter underscore a double r equals empty array brackets. We have actually created an empty list to which we will be appending the filtered elements. So for that, we will iterate over this array. So here I say for I in a double r colon, I'm going to write the condition something like if I is greater than, let's say 22, to my filter array, it should append true. Filter dot array, that is my empty list, it has to append true. And then here I say else, to my filter underscore array, it should append false. This should be so here. T and F should be capital because these are built in. So here we have checked for condition if I greater than 22 in this array. So 23, 24 should be filtered out of all these array elements because the condition is I greater than 22. All right. And now out of the for, I'm gonna say new array equals array of filter array, and then I want to print both the filter array and the new array. So I'm gonna say print the filter array as well as the new array. Let's go and check what output it gives. So this is new a double r without an underscore. So let's run and check the output. And there we go. You see the output here is 23 and 24. My original array, there we go. You see it's 23 and 24, right? Original array was 21, 22, 23. Okay. And my filter array is false, false, true, true for the condition I greater than 22. And my new array is 23 and 24 where the values are true inside my filter array with boolean values. Now let's see one more example. Let's say create a filter array that will return only even numbers from the original array. Alright, so here first I'm going to create an array. Let's say array equals np dot array, and my array is having elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to first create an empty array like I did in the last example. Filter underscore array equals empty list. And then now we have to iterate over each of the elements of array using the for loop. So I do for, let's take j as iteration variable this time. For j in array, here we have to specify the condition. Because it is talking about even numbers, I need to say j mod 2 equals 0. That is, I'm checking for the elements divisibility by 2, or if the elements are multiples of 2. If it is, here I say filter underscore array dot append. I want to append true to it. Else, then filter underscore array dot append. I want to append false. And then out of the for loop, I can say new array equals to my original array. I'll be passing my filter array. I also want to print my filter array, and then I want to print my new array as well. So my filter array will give values true wherever I have even numbers. So alternatively, it will be printing true starting from here, from the second position. I mean from here. True, 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 and true. Right. And let's run and check. And there we go. Alternatively, it is printing true, and the original elements of my arrays were elements from 1 to 10, out of which we have successfully filtered multiples of 2 or even numbers, or the numbers that are divisible by 2. Now let's go and see how we can create filter directly from array. So here I say create filter directly from array. So here, when we are creating filter directly from array, we don't have to make use of the iterable or the for loop. We can directly substitute our array. So here I first create an array by saying array equals and np dot array. Let's say the array elements are 11, 12, 13, 14. And then here I can directly say filter underscore array and write down the condition here. Instead of iterating over each of the elements of array, I'm directly um, assigning condition to my filter array. So here I check for array greater than, let's say 11, and then new array equals array of filter array. I can pass the filter array and print the filter array, as well as I can print my new array. So it should give me output of new array as 12, 13, 14, because I'm checking for array greater than 11. So it should be true for 12, 13, 14. So my filter array should be false, true, true, true. Let's run and check. And you see it is false, true, true, true. And the elements are 12, 13, 14. What if I go and write here array greater than or equal to 11? So it means all of them will be true. And I get all the elements 11, 12, 13, and 14. Alright, so here we are not iterating using the for loop. Here we are not creating an empty list filter array and appending the values by iterating over the array. Now let's write an example of how to create a filter directly from array which will have only odd numbers. So here I say create a filter array that will return only odd elements from original array. So let me first create an array. Let's say array equals np dot array, to which I'll be passing the array elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can pass any values, not necessarily sequential values. I can say something like 25, 69, 51, 22. Alright. And then I can create filter array and then write the condition here. So here I can say array, the array variable that I created, that is ARR mod 2 is not equal to 0, because I'm checking for the odd numbers here, or I'm filtering out odd numbers here. So I just need to write this condition and make sure we should not have a space between these two operators. This would give us an error. Okay. And then here I can say new array equals array variable, to which I'll be passing my filter array. I can go and pass my filter, print my filter array, and then I can also print my new array. Alright, so let's run and check now. So So the output should be wherever I have odd numbers, it should be true for my filter array. True, 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 true. Other should be false. The element should be 1, 3, 5, 25, 69, 51. There we go. It's 1, 3, 5, 25, 69, 51. And wherever I have odd numbers, it's printing true at that positions. So again, here we are not iterating using the for loop. Instead, we have directly created the filter array by specifying the condition without iterating over the elements using the for loop. Now we can also see how to compare and filter numpy arrays. So here I'm gonna say compare and filter numpy arrays. Let's say I'm gonna create two arrays here. Let's say equals np dot array having elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and another array b equals np dot array having elements 3, 8, 5, and 6. So here I can go and say np dot greater. I can make use of this greater function, and then I can pass the two arrays a comma b. Now let's run and check if this gives me any output. Alright, so you see this is not giving me any output because I haven't printed it. So I'm gonna print this. Let's check and hit enter. There we go. It says false, false, false for all the values. So because here 1 is less than 3, 2 is less than 8, 3 is less than 5, 4 is less than 6. What if I write 14 here? What if I write 13 here? So the output now would be false, false, and true, true. Let's check, and there we go. You see it's false, false, and true, true. Here we are checking if the elements of array A are greater than elements of array B. So wherever it is greater, it says true. Wherever it is the elements are not greater or lesser, it will say false. Similarly, I can check for np dot less a comma b. So this should be giving us the opposite result. It should be true, true, false, false, because 1 is less than 2 is true, 2 is 1 is less than 3 is true, 2 is less than 8 is true. So yeah, first two values should be true, the other two values should be false. Similarly, I can check for equal. So here I say np dot equal a comma b. So everywhere it will give false because none of the elements in array A and B are equal. And if I say np dot not equal a comma b, all of the values will be true because the values are not equal in both the arrays. I can also make use of comparison operators here. If I say something like print a greater than or equal to b, so wherever the elements in array A are greater, it should give me output as true. None of the elements are equal, so this equal condition would not work. So this should be false, false, true, true. And there we go. You see the output is false, false, true, true. What if I say print A is less than B? Yep, it should be true, true, false, false. Let's run, and you see output is true, true, and false, false. Alright, so this is all about how we can filter the NumPy arrays. So here we have seen how to filter NumPy arrays by using a Boolean index list and iterating over the list using the for loop in order to create the filter arrays. And then wherever the condition satisfied, it would just go and append true to our empty list that we created. And wherever the condition was not satisfying, it was appending false to at that position in our empty list. And then we have seen how to create array directly without using the for loop or without iterating over the elements of array, directly specifying the condition to our filter variable and then creating that filter array or printing that filter array. So the condition could be also to find the even and odd numbers or to filter the even and odd numbers out of the array. And lastly, we have seen how to compare and filter numpy arrays using this greater np dot greater, np dot less, np dot equal, np dot not equal, and also using comparison operators like greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, and so on. So this was all about how you can filter array elements. Hope you enjoyed this session. We'll see you in the next.